Hey, what's going on everyone? This is G and I'm funkin' hungry. In this video, we're going to try Cadbury's Dairy Milk Slices. This is the raspberry flavour slices. This is Dairy Milk Milk Chocolate, raspberry flavoured choc and Old Gold Dark Chocolate. So if you can see, we'll have a look at it obviously in a second, but you can see it has dark chocolate, raspberry chocolate and milk chocolate. So this one is going to be very interesting. But I'll leave the nutritional information on screen for you if you're interested in taking a look. Also, I'll leave the ingredients on screen if you want to pause and go through that. But like always, we'll go through the basic ingredients. Product contains milk chocolate, 52%, raspberry flavoured choc. For some reason, they keep on calling it choc, not chocolate. Anyway, the raspberry flavoured choc is 29% and dark chocolate is 19%. So you get more of the milk chocolate, you get a fair bit of raspberry, and obviously on top you get the dark chocolate, so it's a little less because it's sort of stacked up. Contains milk, soy, may contain wheat, gluten, peanuts, tree nuts. Anyway, we'll bust this open and have a funkin' hungry sniff sniff. Now this chocolate does seem a little bit smaller than some of the others, but it does look very pretty. You can see this is quite well designed. You can see that it's kind of like squared off, but you can see that it's, you know, it's separating. There's more dairy milk, but it actually looks kind of like there's less dairy milk. It's probably just because it's so much on the back. You can see the side profile. We got dairy milk, raspberry choc, and Old Gold. This is it on the front. You can see that it got kind of squares of the Old Gold sitting on top, so it's kind of a cool design. You know, they've got this slab of chocolate and they've done little squares of Old Gold on top. The Cadbury Dairy Milk Slices range, they do come in caramel and Old Gold as well, they've done. But the slices range are basically, they're sort of trying to imitate or trying to be nostalgic with Australian baked goods from, you know, the bakery, like cakes and stuff like that. They're trying to take them and put them into a block of chocolate. So Australia does have many different slices, which are kind of like cakes, I guess, if you want to call them that. They're cakes, and they have like caramel slice, peanut slice, and raspberry slice. But yeah, this is the raspberry one, obviously. Very cool design, very pink raspberry chocolate there. But let's give it a funkin' hungry sniff sniff, like I said before. Oh yeah, definitely getting that raspberry chocolate come through. Not really getting the Old Gold. Old Gold obviously smells quite bitter. But yeah, I am smelling chocolate, but that raspberry flavour is the strongest one coming through on the sniff sniff. Alright, let's bust the piece off and give it a taste. Oh, well, bit off more than I could chew on that one. Broke off more than I could chew. Okay. So I broke it down into two pieces. So here it is, one piece, stacked really nicely. Alright, let's give it a try. This is Cadbury Dairy Milk Slices Raspberry Flavour. Cheers, everyone. That is pretty crazy. You get all the flavours, but they kind of come and go. You know, it's like they're at a rave, at some sort of disco with your mates. And, you know, you go up to someone and you're like, hey, how you going, Bob? And then you're like, oh, wait a second, you're not Bob. It's just like a little bit of a mystery of what's going on. It's a lovely flavour though. It's definitely not disgusting. Those flavours go together well. But you know, at first I'm like, oh, I'm getting a little bit more dark chocolate. Oh no, I'm getting raspberry. Oh no, I'm getting, you know, all sorts of muddled, all sorts of Jemima puddle duck around here. Anyway, this is a nice bit of chocolate. It's a lot better to review chocolate when it's winter as well. It's not melting. You know, I didn't even have to have this in the fridge. This has just been in the pantry, just sitting there. Well, actually, it was on the side. But anyway, I won't get into that. The side of mystery, we'll call it. Yeah, this is a nice little bit of chocolate. Something a little bit different. The raspberry flavour's not too overpowering. It adds, obviously, a bit of fruitiness to it. But yeah, it's not bad at all. Dark chocolate. The back of the milk chocolate's coming through. Funny, the raspberry flavour that time was a bit subtle. I've got like quite a lot of the dark chocolate, a little bit of the milk chocolate, and just a little bit of the creaminess and a little bit of that sort of fruity tart flavour coming from the raspberry. Now the initial raspberry flavour, which was quite strong at first, is a little bit subtle now. It's almost like my taste buds are so used to the raspberry flavour that it's just, you know, it probably depends as well how you bite it, what parts touch your tongue, what parts touch your mouth, you know, because it kind of breaks apart a little bit in your mouth. These layers kind of come apart a little bit, but yeah, I'm guessing it depends on what ones are tickling your taste buds at the time, you know. But it's definitely a nice combination, something a little bit different. I'm enjoying this quite a lot. So I have one more piece and then we'll move on. I'll give it a rating and tell you the price. Cheers. Strong raspberry smell coming off it. And has quite a lot of raspberry. You know, there's more milk chocolate. But funny enough, the dark chocolate is probably the strongest flavour out of them all. But you do definitely get like this creaminess, kind of like what white chocolate does is what the raspberry chocolate's doing. It's kind of adding like this bit of creaminess and stuff to it. But that is actually really nice. I would have liked to have a little bit more raspberry flavour being called raspberry, but it is a nice combination of all of them. I just feel like, you know, like, I don't know, just that dark chocolate, it is quite a strong flavour, dark chocolate, so it makes sense that it kind of overpowers a little bit. And that's probably why as well, it's the less amount out of all of them. But yeah, just would have probably liked a little bit more raspberry. I think one thing that would have, I mean, it's a really good chocolate by itself. I think one thing that would have bumped this up if you had like a little bit of a raspberry like jam in between. You know, it might be hard to do because they've obviously done the chocolate, the raspberry on top, and then done these sort of little squares of dark chocolate. But I feel like, you know, just to bump up that raspberry flavour, a little bit of raspberry jam or raspberry cream would have just made that, elevated this up to the next level. But the way they've done it, really good. Something really different. I'm loving these slices range. The slices Cadbury range, so far, they've all been pretty damn good. You know, there's a couple that might have not been my cup of tea exactly. Cheers. Sipping tea like Kermit. But, you know, it all comes down to preference. You know, someone's not going to like raspberry. Someone's not going to like peanut. It all depends on what you like. Some people are going to really like the old gold versions. This one does kind of like cover most chocolates. You know, if you like your dairy milk, your milk chocolate. If probably more for like kids and stuff that are into sort of, you know, fancy sort of flavoured chocolates. The raspberry, and then, you know, the oldies love the goldies, you know what I'm saying? The old gold. But my rating for Cadbury Dairy Milk Slices Raspberry flavour, I'm going to give them a 7.5 out of 10. Really good, really something unique and different. I feel like they're really pushing the boat out on these different slices range, especially. They're coming out with all sorts of chocolate lately, but I feel like the slices range, they're really, you know, being innovative and they're trying to come up with new stuff, which I'm really pleased about. It gives me something cool to review, and you know that most of them, as I say, are quite pleasant and quite tasty. But the price rating for these Cadbury, now I'd sometimes try and get them on special if I can, especially if I'm going to review a few new chocolates. You know, I believe I got this for half price, so I paid, you know, like only $3 or whatever. But yeah, you know, I have to go with the original price because obviously they're not going to always be on special, so I need to go by the regular price, which is $6 these days. Make sure you're sitting down. $6 a block of Cadbury's chocolate. So I'm going to have to give that a rating of, I'll give them 4 out of 10 for a rating. I feel like that's definitely below average. Even a 4 out of 10 is probably me being a bit too generous there. Definitely recommend to try this one. You know, especially if you like dark chocolate, especially if you like raspberry chocolate, especially if you like dairy milk, milk chocolate, especially if you like Cadbury chocolate, especially if you like the Cadbury's Dairy Milk slices. Alright, I'll stop now. But you get the point. It's a decent block of chocolate. But let me know in the comments below if you tried Cadbury Dairy Milk Slices range. Obviously, as I said, they have some caramel and old gold versions. Let me know in the comments below which has been your favourite slices so far. Do you like them? Do you disagree with what I've said and you haven't liked any of them, or you think they're a little bit trash or average or whatever? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, if you could please like, please subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a video. This is G from Phunken Hungry, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.